All right, hey there, vinyl community. Jeff here. Happy 4th of July for those of you Americans that might have had this day off. I hope you had a nice long weekend. I did, and we've, we pretty much lounged around today. We didn't do anything, so. But anyway, I wanted to go ahead and I wanted to make a quick video because this is just some stuff that has come in over the past week that I hadn't shown yet and have been enjoying on this long weekend and everything. So anyway, hope everybody had a great one, and let's get right into this. So. Back on Record Store Day a couple weeks ago, there was only a couple of records I think I mentioned that I wanted, and one of the ones that I did not get, I called around, checked all the other stores in my town. I found it on Discogs for literally the same cost it would have been in the store. And then, anyway, so I went ahead and grabbed it, and that is the Voivod Nothing Face album. Now, this is only my second album by them. On the last Record Store Day with Angel Rat, I bought that. I'd never listened to their music before. I hear a lot of people talk about them. I really had a different view of what I thought they sounded like. I always got the impression they were something totally different, and so I enjoyed Angel Rat much more than I thought I would, just because again I had a misconception of what they sounded like. So I went ahead and grabbed this. If you're not familiar with this one, which most people are if you're a fan, it's on this pink splatter white type thing. First time on vinyl. It's called Prog Thrash Metal Classic. I don't know, it's a little everywhere. It's got some different styles. I will say on first go around with this, Angel Rat impressed me more the first time I listened to it than this one did. So I'm going to give it more spins, but as of right now the jury's out on the verdict exactly. But it wasn't like it was horrible, it was just different than what I was expecting after listening to Angel Rat. Now while I ordered that, it's always nice, and this is always one of those reasons you end up spending more money. It's like, hey, if I'm going to pay shipping, it's the same shipping for 2 or 3 records usually with most places. In this case it was the same with 2 records. I've had this on my wish list for a couple years, and they had it for a great price. Like, it was better price than I usually see it. And that's this band called Death, and the whole world, for the whole world to see. Now, if you're not familiar with this band, Death, this is not the the more extreme metal band. This album actually was recorded in the 70s. And it was, you really need to, if you haven't seen the movie or you don't know about this, there's a documentary called The Band Called Death. It's on YouTube. I saw it when it was on I forget, it was either on like Hulu or Amazon Prime or something a year or so ago, and I immediately went out and checked out this album, put it on my wish list. And so what it is in a nutshell is there were some brothers who had this band in the 70s. And in the 70s, they were playing like this heavy hard rock punk. Really just a hard rock with the punk flair. And for the 70s, they are 3 African-American gentlemen. 3? There's only 3, I think. Yeah, that's it. Totally out of sync with, what you would expect.
David's amp was always positioned right here because he liked it like that, so he could, roused up the neighbors. And then there was like some girls. We'd be practicing so loud. Then after we're done with a song, we'd hear all this loud knocking on the door. And that was them trying to get in. One day this transpired, and David started playing these riffs, We just came up with the words right then and there,
Keep on knocking.
Keep on knocking,
And then they're playing in the house, and oh man, they sent people down the street holding their head. We would start to practice, and the doors would slam, and the cop cars would pull up because we know that they called them on us.
See, we grew up in the black community, so at that time people were tuning into groups like Earth, Wind, and Fire.
And here we are in the middle of all of this playing rock and roll. And I mean, it wasn't a rock and roll culture. White boy music.
Coming out of their neighborhood at that time in the 70s, and it drew some attention, and they went into a studio, and you'll see watch the movie. It's a great documentary. They recorded the stuff. It never got released. It and then one of the brother. Well, I won't tell you what any of that. But anyway, much later, in like the 2000s, this album was reissued in 2011 for the first time. It just basically sat there, it seems like. But they had a single out, a 7-inch single of 2 songs, and somebody found it in a store, digging around. They had a limited amount of these singles to put out. They had them out. Somebody found it. Somebody fell in love with it. They put it on a compilation tape that they had released. It got picked up in some underground stuff. All of a sudden, it became the buzz around town, and the single shot up in price. Everybody wanted to know about this band, blah, blah, blah. Somebody did some research. They went back, contacted the members of the band formerly, got the whole story, got the tapes, and reissued the album. Now, they have 2 other albums that... One of them, I think, is other demos and stuff, and the other one, I'm not sure. I can't get much details on it. Might even be newer music from the remaining members of the band getting back together. But it's a great story. It talks about their kids who didn't even know about this band, and now the kids are playing music and they're playing stuff, by this band. It's a great story of, somebody finding this single, and it's sparking this whole movement that puts this album out. And I tell you what, I've listened to this album a couple times. A lot of the tracks were in the documentary, but I just from the first time I dropped the needle, it captivated me. Not only because of the story behind it, it's just a great sounding album. It's just a great sounding album. You should check it out. It's got a little insert here, but yeah, check out the movie. Maybe I'll link it below. Check it out. You got to go see it. It's a great movie, and now it's on YouTube. Like I said, when I saw it, it was on one of the Hulu or something, and then it went off of there. Now it's on. Somebody put it on YouTube. All right, so next couple are just Amazon orders. Nothing major here. This was a pre-order. I'm glad it dropped way down in price from the normal ones, but it's another one of the Dream Theater Lost but Not Forgotten Awake demos. So this is it's a gatefold. So this is only a double record. It does come with the CD like they've been doing for all of theirs. So it's a double record set. Original demos recorded for Dream Theater's iconic 3rd studio album, Awake, remixed, remastered, and available for the first time on vinyl. So yes, and I have had this was one of the also released bootleg CD series, the official bootleg series that Dream Theater did, Mike Portnoy did back in the day. And so they've just remastered it and put it on vinyl. So great stuff. It's a different take on some of the music from that time frame. It's a gatefold. These things don't have much in it, just maybe a picture or so of the band, and then they're just colors or words. But it has a CD, so they're pretty standard, put together fairly inexpensively. But it's great to have, like, they're releasing a lot of this on vinyl. There's more of them coming. And this is one of those Amazon ones that it's a scratch and dent sale. They said it has cosmetic damage, which it does. And... anyway, I went ahead and grabbed it. This is the 50th or whatever, the anniversary edition of Love Drive that came out recently. And it does have a little seam split there, and you probably can't see it in the plastic. But the cover was a little worse than I kind of thought it would be. But I'm not going to complain too much. It's got the, I'm not going to show that side. It's kind of bent there pretty bad. And you can't, it's mainly the bottom corners. Got a little bend there. So... and then the seam split. The inserts and everything inside are perfectly fine. The record is perfectly fine. It's just one of those cosmetic damage things. But yeah, I went ahead and got that, and it dropped down to in the teens. And so I was like, let's go ahead and grab that while it's on the scratch and dent sale. But that was it. So of all of those, I really suggest check out the band Death if you're into a little bit more of the rough stuff. Raw, great stuff. Just great for that time frame. But that's all for now, and I'll be back. I got a couple of threads I've been seeing that I want to jump on, and we'll see from where we go from there. Thanks a lot for watching, though. Rock on and rock hard.